The good, the bad, and the ugly of power of sale properties. Are power of sales increasing? Welcome back to my channel where I talk about everything real estate related in Canada with an emphasis on the city of Toronto. My name is Macallum and I am the leader of a real estate team here in the city of Toronto, and we specialize in residential resale, pre-construction, and leasing. If you find this video informative or you learn anything at all I ask is that you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. These actions really help push this video to others like yourself looking to learn more about the Canadian and Toronto real estate markets. And if you'd like to book a buyer consultation, a listing consultation, or just a general call to chat about the market, you can go to the description of this video where you can book a meeting directly into my calendar. Power of sales might be the hottest topic in the real estate market right now. Power of sales and interest rates, but these go hand in hand. When interest rates rise so significantly and so quickly, it's difficult not to talk about these in the same sentence. But what is a power of sale? A power of sale occurs when a borrower fails to make their mortgage payments and goes into default on their loan. The lender then has the ability to sell the home without the borrower's input on sale price, terms, etc. Understanding the basics of a power of sale isn't too difficult. However, purchasing a power of sale can be. With the topic of power of sales increasing what feels like almost every single day, I'm fielding questions from clients and agents on my team, so I thought I'd make a video about it. How many power of sale listings are there currently on TRREB's MLS? And how many have actually sold since December 1st? Unfortunately, there isn't a 100% perfect way for searching a power of sale properties on the MLS. If you're a realtor, I just created a broad search and input contains power of sale in the remarks for clients section. This should pull up the power of sale listings because the listing agents should state that it's a power of sale in the description. But again, it's not an exact science. Based on this, there are 16 properties currently listed under power of sale on TRREB. That's not a lot of listings. So if you're searching for this type of sale, it may be difficult to find what you're looking for. And what's interesting is the values or list prices of these power of sales are ranging from $430,000 all the way up to an under construction 20,000 square foot property on a 10-acre piece of land in Richmond Hill listed for $10 million. So it's not just your starter homes which are being sold under power of sale, which I think is going to surprise quite a few people. Okay, so 16 properties are currently listed under power of sale on TRREB's MLS. But how many homes have sold under power of sale since December 1st of 2022? 17 power of sale properties sold on TRREB since December 1st. To put this number into perspective, there were about 6,200 sales on TRREB in December and January. This means 0.2% of the sales during this time period were under power of sale. Since there are so few properties which sell under power of sale, are they worth actively seeking from a pricing standpoint? I mean, do they sell for significantly less than the market average? In the month of January, properties on TRREB were selling for 98% of asking, meaning they were selling for 2% under asking on average. Power of sale properties in December and January were selling for 96% of asking. So that means that power of sales, based on a smaller sample size, are right now selling for a 2% discount compared to non-power of sale properties. Is it worth it though? Let's find out with a few pros and cons. What are the pros of purchasing a power of sale? I think we just talked about the main pro. On average, the sale price is lower. There are far fewer buyers looking to purchase a property under power of sale. Sure, everyone talks about wanting to purchase a power of sale property because of the discount. However, when it comes to actually putting pen to paper and learning more about the process and cons, lots of eager buyers back away. The average home buyer generally isn't prepared to take that much risk. That's a pretty short list in the pros column for power of sales. Now let's talk about the cons, and not just the cons, but what you as a buyer in this market should know about before exploring power of sale properties. Let's start off the list of cons with a pretty important one which people tend to not know. And stick around until the end of this video because the most important con is last. We assume that when a property is being sold under power of sale, the property will sell for a huge discount just so the lender can recoup their money faster. Contrary to popular belief, that is not necessarily true. In fact, the lender is legally obligated to put best efforts towards selling the property for fair market value. So if you think you're going to be buying a power of sale home for 10% under market value, think again. You almost might have better luck purchasing a property for 10% under market value from a distressed seller, someone who hasn't defaulted on their mortgage, but may be close to doing so. So they are trying to sell their property before it gets to that point. In a typical sale between homeowner and buyer, the homeowner can represent and warrant the condition of the property. This is because they are the ones currently occupying the space and know what's going on in the property. The lender cannot represent and warrant the condition of a home because they don't know the property inside and out. For example, they don't know if a large amount of snow melts at the back of the home, the basement leaks. So they cannot warrant that. This means the property is being sold in an as-is condition, and the buyer is assuming everything about the property, including its faults. Similar to the lender not being able to represent and warrant the condition of the home, they cannot say the appliances are in good working order or in working order at all. And in most cases, they cannot even sell the appliances with the home because those are actually the homeowner's possessions. The lender is not able to accept a contract with some specific terms. So typically in a standard agreement of purchase and sale, there are terms about title, for example, which the seller accepts. In a power of sale, the lender cannot warrant the history of title because they don't have the insight into this. They don't know if the borrower in default was using the property against its legal use or has any outstanding work orders. Here is my number one most important thing to know about when exploring power of sales. Did you know that the borrower in default can actually take their home back? It's true. This is called the right to redemption. The lender may include a clause in the agreement that gives the homeowner the right to redemption. This means that if the homeowner is able to bring the mortgage back into good standing prior to the new closing on the home, the pending sale can be nullified, meaning completely canceled. If you are closing on, say, April 1st as the buyer and the borrower brings the mortgage into good standing on March 31st, one day before closing, then your purchase is canceled. However, very few homeowners in default are able to come up with the money to bring the mortgage up to date. So there you have it. Lots of information about power of sales because, like I said, they are a hot topic in today's market. If you want to learn more about this type of sale or you want to set up a call to chat further about the market, head to the description of this video where you can book a meeting directly into my calendar. And if you'd like to learn more about mortgage defaults, click the video here.